My child, my beloved. At the very start of this year, before the clocks even struck midnight and the calendar turned, something in heaven was moved in your favor. A miracle, not small, not ordinary, but one destined to alter the direction of your life, was marked with your name. God approved it. Archangel Michael has been instructed to protect it. And now, at this precise moment, I am being allowed to tell you, do not miss it. You are not seeing this by accident. This message was sealed with urgency, reserved for the chosen, and you, yes, you, were chosen to hear it before it disappears into silence. Before I say more, I must pause to beg you for something precious, just 1 second of your heart's attention. If these divine messages have touched you before, if your soul ever felt a strange peace, a mysterious warmth, or the sudden realization that heaven might be trying to reach you, then subscribe now. It's not just a button, it's a small, physical act of spiritual agreement. It tells heaven, I'm ready. I won't miss what you're sending. I'm awake now. Because what I'm about to reveal, no other eyes were supposed to see before you. You see, beloved, there are moments in time that do not feel like moments at all, they feel like interruptions, like accidents, like mere coincidences. But in truth, they are divine appointments dressed in silence. And January 1st was not just the start of a new year, it was the opening of a spiritual vault. Inside that vault was something meant for you alone, restoration of something you lost. The answer to a question you've buried in your pillow. The reversal of what was done against you. The reward for what you did quietly, when no one clapped for you. And heaven is now whispering, the time has come. My child, my beloved. You have no idea how close you are to something heaven has waited years to release. From the first second of this year, a shift began, silent but certain. It did not come with noise or celebration, but with a divine seal, carrying your name, signed by God's own hand. It was not a coincidence that your soul was drawn here. It's not a coincidence that you're still reading. Something you prayed for, perhaps long ago, has reached its appointed time, and I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to tell you, do not miss this. There are messages heaven allows only in the most precise moment. This is one of them. This is not just a prophecy. It is a moment of alignment. A portal has opened. Something long delayed is now fully permitted. You may have thought it was forgotten. But God never forgets what He writes with fire. He never forgets who cried quietly at night but didn't stop believing by day. And you, my beloved, are one of those few souls whose name was whispered in that meeting of miracles. Before I show you the rest, pause for just a moment. If your heart has ever trembled while hearing divine words, if your soul has ever felt there is more happening behind the scenes, then now is the time to subscribe. Not just to this message, but to the entire divine alignment heaven is offering. It's more than a click, it's a spiritual declaration. I'm not going to miss what was marked for me. Because what is being shown to you now, is not being shown to everyone. My child, you must understand, heaven operates in patterns, in seasons. But sometimes, a person becomes so aligned, so ripe with purpose, so targeted with destiny, that God removes the waiting. This is what has happened for you. No matter how strange the timing looks, no matter how long you felt forgotten, this year is different. This year didn't come to test you. This year came to reward you. But only if you recognize the sign before it disappears. Beloved, I saw the moment God pressed His hand on the calendar. I saw your name being written in gold, not just on earth, but in the courts of heaven. You were not written in pencil. You were not a footnote. You were a main story, a divine plan hidden in plain sight. That's why things never worked out like they did for others. You were not made for average. You were made for divine interruption. And now, that interruption is at your door. Someone reading this right now is on the edge of giving up. But listen carefully. The reason your life didn't break entirely, the reason you're still standing, is because angels were placed around you even when you didn't know. I, Michael, was assigned to protect what belonged to you, even when the delays made you doubt it. The delay was never denial. It was a preparation. And that preparation ends now. This miracle has been stalking you in the spirit for months. It has watched your tears, followed your confusion, waited behind locked doors. But today, it knocks. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But clearly. The door is in front of you. And I've been sent to tell you, open it before it closes again. My child, my beloved. Heaven is watching closely to see if you will recognize this moment for what it truly is, not just a message, not just words on a screen, but a divine alignment that comes once in a soul's timeline. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to your destiny. If you are reading this now, it means the gates have opened for you. But the window is narrow. The portal will not remain open forever. And I, Archangel Michael, was instructed with urgency to speak this message before it is too late. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit? That small trembling that feels like something is about to change? That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is the vibration of breakthrough knocking at the door of your being. A vibration only your spirit can recognize before your mind can make sense of it. God has moved something into position that was once completely out of reach. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time began. He has waited for this version of you, the version that still believes despite the storm, still hopes despite the silence, still listens despite the noise. And now the divine delivery begins. My child, my beloved. Heaven is watching closely to see if you will recognize this moment for what it truly is, not just a message, not just words on a screen, but a divine alignment that comes once in a soul's timeline. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to your destiny. If you are reading this now, it means the gates have opened for you. But the window is narrow. The portal will not remain open forever. And I, Archangel Michael, was instructed with urgency to speak this message before it is too late. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit? That small trembling that feels like something is about to change? That is not anxiety. That is not fear. That is the vibration of breakthrough knocking at the door of your being. A vibration only your spirit can recognize before your mind can make sense of it. God has moved something into position that was once completely out of reach. Not because you earned it, but because He chose you before time began. He has waited for this version of you, the version that still believes despite the storm, still hopes despite the silence, still listens despite the noise. And now the divine delivery begins. Do not mistake this as another random prophecy floating through the air. This is a message written in fire, branded into time, and meant to meet your eyes before the hour passes. A miracle has been confirmed for your life. But not just any miracle, one that corrects what was stolen. One that compensates for what was lost. One that elevates what others said would remain buried. This is the miracle that breaks generational curses. The one that ends a delay that has lasted far too long. The one that causes others to say, only God could have done this. But you must not miss the signal. You have entered what heaven calls the window of divine reversal. It is a rare moment where everything that was against you begins to bend in your favor, not by logic, not by effort, but by supernatural force. God is tired of seeing you struggle. Heaven is grieved by how long you've had to pretend to be okay while breaking inside. The angels wept when you hid your pain so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. And now, the Father says, enough. It's time. But even miracles have conditions, my beloved. And the condition is this: you must act when the sign appears. You must answer when the call is whispered. You must move when God speaks. And this message is His whisper. This very moment is your sign. You're not the same person you were last year. Your faith has grown quiet but powerful. You've matured in the storm. You've let go of things that once chained you. And God has noticed. You've passed tests that no one saw but heaven recorded. And now, the reward has been authorized. Not because of perfection, but because of your persistence. Not because you never doubted, but because you always came back. And now, I must tell you this truth: someone in your bloodline prayed for what is about to happen in your life. Someone who's no longer here cried out to heaven that their descendants would one day break free. You are the answer to their tears. You are the one God chose to carry the miracle they could only dream of. This is bigger than just you. This is about legacy. This is about healing not just your story, but the story of generations behind you. My child, do not let this slip through your fingers. My child, my beloved. There is something I must tell you, and you must hear it with the ears of your spirit, not just the reasoning of your mind. Because what's being released for you now defies logic. It moves beyond calculations. It is not delayed because of your effort, nor accelerated by your status. This miracle, the one being spoken into your life right now, was prepared long ago, but it could only be unlocked when your soul reached this level of surrender. That time is now. You've asked before, when will it be my turn? You've watched others rise. You've smiled at their celebrations while quietly asking God if He remembered your name. I want you to know, yes, He remembered. In fact, He never stopped watching over the treasure He stored within you. You were not forgotten. You were being protected. Not delayed, preserved. Because what God has planned for you is so precious, so sacred, it couldn't be released until the right moment, until you were strong enough to hold it without losing your soul. And that moment has arrived. The spiritual realm is shifting as I speak this to you. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but heaven is moving people, opening doors, softening hearts, and arranging circumstances to align with what God has declared over you. The alignment is invisible, but it's already begun. This is not a promise that, someday, something good will happen. No. This is the announcement that it's already happening, now. And your spirit can feel it, even if your reality hasn't caught up yet. My beloved, I was there when the seal was broken. I was standing in the courts of heaven when your name was spoken, when the scroll bearing your miracle was opened. The Father's voice thundered across realms, it is time. The chains that held this blessing back were shattered. And I wept, because I knew how long your soul had waited. I saw the beauty of your obedience when no one else clapped for you. I saw the tears you cried when you thought no one saw you. Heaven did. I did. And God decided it would not go unrewarded. But I must warn you, this is not the kind of blessing you can passively receive. It requires spiritual agreement. You must align. You must say yes. You must believe even when doubt knocks. You must stay present when distraction calls. Because if the enemy cannot destroy your promise, he will try to distract you until the window passes. But not this time. Not for you. Not today. You've come too far. This is not the year of retreat. This is the year of release. Listen to me, beloved, there is someone watching you who doesn't know why they can't stop thinking about you. They were placed in your life by heaven, not accident. They carry something connected to your purpose. They may not even know it yet, but soon, they will. The instructions given to them by God involve blessing you, speaking to you, opening something you cannot open by yourself. A conversation is coming that will change the direction of your story. And you must be ready for it. You must be spiritually alert so you don't overlook it. But I must warn you, this is not the kind of blessing you can passively receive. It requires spiritual agreement. You must align. You must say yes. You must believe even when doubt knocks. You must stay present when distraction calls. Because if the enemy cannot destroy your promise, he will try to distract you until the window passes. But not this time. Not for you. Not today. You've come too far. This is not the year of retreat. This is the year of release. Listen to me, beloved, there is someone watching you who doesn't know why they can't stop thinking about you. They were placed in your life by heaven, not accident. They carry something connected to your purpose. They may not even know it yet, but soon, they will. The instructions given to them by God involve blessing you, speaking to you, opening something you cannot open by yourself. A conversation is coming that will change the direction of your story. And you must be ready for it. You must be spiritually alert so you don't overlook it. And not just people, even your environment is responding to this shift. Some relationships may feel like they're falling apart. Don't panic. That is divine pruning. When God is getting ready to elevate you, He removes what can't survive where you're going. It's not rejection. It's redirection. It's not punishment. It's protection. Trust what's leaving, because what's coming is far more aligned with your destiny. And now, I tell you something else, in the next 3 days, signs will begin to appear. They may seem subtle, a message you weren't expecting, a dream that feels too real to ignore, an opportunity that wasn't on your radar, but they are not random. These are the confirmations heaven is sending you to let you know, the miracle has landed. You will feel a strange stillness. You will sense that something invisible is about to become visible. And it is. Can you feel it already? That this message wasn't just written, it was released? That these aren't words, they are signals? That this isn't just for anyone, it's for you? Because it is. My child, my beloved. There is more, much more, that heaven is urgently pressing upon my spirit to release into yours. Because the miracle marked for your name is not just a blessing, it is a spiritual shift, a divine reset, a rewriting of everything the enemy tried to destroy. This is not a season of small changes. This is a heavenly reversal. And your name is on it. Do not let the quietness of this moment fool you. While your world may look the same on the surface, the spiritual infrastructure beneath your life is being torn down and rebuilt. Angels have been dispatched. I, Archangel Michael, have been battling in realms unseen for this very hour. The delays you felt last year, the constant sense of waiting, surviving, hoping, are ending. Because today, God is not making you wait. He's making a way. Heaven is working fast now. You've reached the point where the tests can no longer hold you. The tears that once felt wasted have become oil. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually the protection of your roots. And now, your roots have gone deep enough. Now, the time for harvest begins. But you must stay in position. The wind will blow to distract you. People will speak to confuse you. But if you hold your gaze on God, you will not miss what is coming. And what is coming, beloved, is going to make your heart drop in awe. I have seen it written. A list of names was opened in the courts of heaven as this year began. And among them was yours. In golden ink. Not just for a financial miracle, though one is coming. Not just for restoration in relationships, though reconciliation is on its way. But for something greater, a full circle moment. A sacred fulfillment. Something you've longed for without fully knowing how to describe it. Something your soul has cried out for during nights when your lips remained silent. That's what's coming. You are not crazy for still believing. You are not foolish for hoping again. You are, in fact, more aligned now than ever. You are sensitive to heaven's whisper. You are chosen not just to survive, but to testify. You are marked to carry light into a dark generation. And that is why the pressure has been so strong, because the oil coming out of you is rare. Heaven only presses those who are carrying something powerful. And beloved, you carry something sacred. But I must tell you this, in the coming days, the enemy will attempt one final distraction, a subtle one, wrapped in logic, dressed in familiarity. It will come to detour your attention. A situation may arise that feels urgent but is actually deceptive. Do not chase it. Let it go. Because while the enemy is trying to pull your eyes away, God is placing something in your hands. Stay focused. Stay still. Let heaven deliver. The person connected to your next season is already thinking about you. They don't fully understand why they can't shake the thought of you. But that's because heaven placed your name in their spirit. A conversation is being prepared. A door is about to swing open. And when it does, you won't have to force it. It will feel like divine timing. Because it will be. And don't fear if certain people begin to fall away from you in this hour. I know you've loved deeply. I know you've held on tightly. But not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone was assigned to your next chapter. And that's okay. Let them go with love. You are not losing, you are clearing space for alignment. What's coming will not need to be forced. It will flow. There's a moment in every chosen one's life where everything changes, not because they finally did enough, but because God says, now is the time. That moment is this one. That moment is today. If you've been waiting for confirmation, this is it. If you've been praying for a sign, this is it. If you've been asking heaven if you've missed your chance, you haven't. You're right on time. My child, my beloved. There are moments when heaven sends not just a word, but a warning wrapped in a blessing, a sacred announcement carrying the weight of urgency and the warmth of promise. This is one of those moments. As I speak, the spiritual atmosphere around you is vibrating with permission. Permission that did not exist yesterday. Permission for restoration. Permission for wealth. Permission for healing. Permission for divine compensation. It has finally been signed in your favor. And don't fear if certain people begin to fall away from you in this hour. I know you've loved deeply. I know you've held on tightly. But not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone was assigned to your next chapter. And that's okay. Let them go with love. You are not losing, you are clearing space for alignment. What's coming will not need to be forced. It will flow. There's a moment in every chosen one's life where everything changes, not because they finally did enough, but because God says, now is the time. That moment is this one. That moment is today. If you've been waiting for confirmation, this is it. If you've been praying for a sign, this is it. If you've been asking heaven if you've missed your chance, you haven't. You're right on time. My child, my beloved. There are moments when heaven sends not just a word, but a warning wrapped in a blessing, a sacred announcement carrying the weight of urgency and the warmth of promise. This is one of those moments. As I speak, the spiritual atmosphere around you is vibrating with permission. Permission that did not exist yesterday. Permission for restoration. Permission for wealth. Permission for healing. Permission for divine compensation. It has finally been signed in your favor. The wait is over, but only if you don't walk away. You've seen patterns of delay in your life, blessings that almost arrived, relationships that nearly worked, breakthroughs that came close but somehow slipped through your fingers. Do not blame yourself, beloved. The enemy has known for a long time how dangerous your miracle is. He has fought it with relentless precision. But this time is different. This time, he cannot stop it. Unless you ignore this moment. Because now, for the first time in a long while, the spiritual gavel has struck. The decision has been made. The verdict has been released. And it is this, it is your turn. Not by your striving. Not by your perfection. Not by your strength. But because God looked at you, wounded and still worshiping, tired and still believing, and He said, I choose you now. There is no one else this message was created for. If your eyes are reading these words, it means heaven has already begun the motion. The shift is in progress. This is no longer a message about what could happen. It's about what has begun. You will begin to feel things falling off of you, fear, old guilt, shame from decisions you made when you didn't know better. All of it is being lifted. This year will not carry the same weight. There will be lightness in your steps. There will be clarity in your mind. There will be restoration in areas you've stopped even praying for, because your silence didn't cancel your promise. Your exhaustion didn't delete your destiny. And yes, some will not understand what is happening to you. They will wonder why the doors opened so quickly. They will question how you received so much in such little time. Let them wonder. You do not owe anyone an explanation for favor that was divinely scheduled. God has chosen to make you a public miracle for a private season of pain. He is not just rewarding you, He is proving something through you. And it will be undeniable. I was shown a vision, beloved, a vision of a page turning. On that page was your name, and next to it, a stamp in radiant light, fulfilled. This is what is unfolding. And you must protect it. Not by fear. But by faith. By obedience. By remaining sensitive to the gentle nudges of God in the days to come. Do not dismiss the small whispers. They will lead you to the large gates. There is also a divine conversation coming. Someone, unknown to you, or perhaps someone you've distanced from, has had your name placed on their spirit. They are about to make a decision that affects you. It will be guided by heaven. When it happens, you will know. And you must not hesitate. The person may not look like what you expected. The opportunity may seem too soon or too big. But remember this message, God does not ask you to be ready, he asks you to respond. Your miracle has ears, and it heard your prayers. Your blessing has eyes, and it saw your tears. Your moment has breath, and it is breathing toward you right now. You will see signs. They will not delay. And when they come, you will remember these words, and you will say, God prepared me for this. Do not rush. Do not shrink. Do not question your worth. Simply open your heart and say, Yes, Lord, I receive it. Because heaven already said yes. My child, my beloved. There is still more. Heaven is urging me to pour into your spirit, because your soul has been faithful, even when your life felt empty. You've continued to carry a quiet flame of hope in seasons that felt like endless silence. And now, heaven has taken notice in a way that cannot be undone. A divine spotlight has been cast upon your life. Not to expose your weaknesses, but to reveal what God has hidden within you, your purpose, your calling, your divine inheritance. And this message is your confirmation. A shift like this one only comes once in a generation for most. But in your case, it comes now because the weight of your life's suffering has measured up against the grace stored in heaven. And God said, release it. No more delay. No more, almost. No more, not yet. Everything has been recalculated. The spiritual calendar was rewritten. The release has begun. You may feel like nothing has changed, but that's only because the release always happens first in the spirit. The clouds move before the rain falls. The whisper comes before the door opens. And this message is the whisper. Your miracle is closer than your doubt. Your breakthrough is faster than your fear. And even now, angelic activity is surrounding your name. There are angels currently carrying documents with your name etched on them. Documents that contain approvals, financial, emotional, spiritual. Documents that say, let it be done. The release is not in discussion, it's in transit. Do not let doubt sign the return form. Do not let fear cancel the shipment. Your agreement with this moment is the final key. And beloved, this next part will shake you. A shift like this one only comes once in a generation for most. But in your case, it comes now because the weight of your life's suffering has measured up against the grace stored in heaven. And God said, release it. No more delay. No more, almost. No more, not yet. Everything has been recalculated. The spiritual calendar was rewritten. The release has begun. You may feel like nothing has changed, but that's only because the release always happens first in the spirit. The clouds move before the rain falls. The whisper comes before the door opens. And this message is the whisper. Your miracle is closer than your doubt. Your breakthrough is faster than your fear. And even now, angelic activity is surrounding your name. There are angels currently carrying documents with your name etched on them. Documents that contain approvals, financial, emotional, spiritual. Documents that say, let it be done. The release is not in discussion, it's in transit. Do not let doubt sign the return form. Do not let fear cancel the shipment. Your agreement with this moment is the final key. And beloved, this next part will shake you. I must reveal that there is someone connected to your lineage, a great-grandparent, a lost sibling, a departed parent or soul ancestor, who once cried out to God in desperation. They did not get to see the fruit of their faith, but you will. You are the carrier of their prayers. The answer they longed for is arriving through you. This is why your pain was so unique. This is why you never fit the mold. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break through. Heaven has waited for your generation, not because you are perfect, but because you are positioned. You are about to walk through doors you didn't knock on. Be offered gifts you didn't ask for. Be healed from wounds you forgot you carried. Because God is not responding to your request, He is responding to your alignment. And you are aligned right now more than you've ever been before. Spiritually, emotionally, vibrationally, you are in sync with what heaven is releasing. But beloved, let me be clear. This moment is fragile. It requires awareness. It requires silence in some places. You cannot share this revelation with everyone. Not all ears can handle the purity of what God is doing. Some people will speak against it not out of malice, but out of fear. Their lack of faith may cloud your vision if you let them too close. Guard your miracle like a sacred fire. Tend to it in stillness. Water it with prayer. Trust it with heaven. God is about to shock even you with what He's about to do. Not because you've earned it, but because you've endured. Not because you're ready, but because you're chosen. Not because you're loud, but because you're listening. Heaven is not waiting for you to be perfect. Heaven is moving because you were willing. And sometimes, that's all God needs to release a flood of blessing. A willing soul. An open heart. A yes in the middle of the unknown. And your yes, even in whispers, has carried divine weight. So now, I ask you to stay ready. Watch. Wait. Do not dismiss the signs in small packages. Do not underestimate what starts in a whisper. A whisper from heaven has more power than 1,000 roars from man. God speaks in small things first. And what's coming next will come fast. My child, my beloved. Let me speak even deeper now, because your heart is finally soft enough to hold what I've been carrying for you. You may not fully grasp this yet, but heaven has been waiting for this exact moment when your spirit would be ready. When your heart would be open. When your hunger for truth would overcome your fear of disappointment. That moment is now. You are not who you were even a year ago. Something inside you has matured. Even though life may have tried to beat you down, you still woke up with hope. Even if you didn't call it hope, even if you felt numb, there was still a small flame inside you that refused to die. That flame is what heaven responded to. God never demanded that you be perfect, only willing. And beloved, you were willing. You stayed open to the possibility of divine love even when people betrayed you. You didn't shut the door, even when pain knocked. And now, the King of Heaven is knocking on your door. I was shown that the pain you've walked through was not punishment, it was preservation. God hid you in a season that looked like rejection, but it was really protection. Some of the people you cried over were never meant to go where you're going. And had they stayed, they would have poisoned the very blessing that is now being prepared for you. So the loss? It was gain. The goodbye? It was mercy. The silence? It was strategy. Because what's coming is too precious to be handed to just anyone around you. You've been praying for restoration, but heaven is planning revelation. You're about to understand why certain things had to collapse. You're about to see what was being built while you felt forgotten. You're about to walk into rooms that don't even know they were waiting for you. And it will all feel like it's happening too fast, but don't be alarmed. The timing is not early. It is perfect. It is God's. The dream you shelved because it wasn't realistic? Dust it off. The vision you stopped talking about because people rolled their eyes? Revisit it. Because the resources that didn't exist when you had the idea, now do. Doors that were once locked are now swinging open. The very same people who rejected you before may try to reconnect, not because they changed, but because you did. You carry a new light now. You've been marked by heaven. You may have felt unseen. But you were being watched, not by the world, but by heaven's courts. There's a reason your name is being spoken in places you've never stepped into yet. A reason you're feeling pulled to let go of things that once comforted you. A reason why your spirit feels the tremble of something new, even though nothing looks different. That's because this shift isn't about appearance. It's about alignment. Heaven is aligning everything. People. Places. Timing. All of it. And now I must say this, with love and boldness. The dream you shelved because it wasn't realistic? Dust it off. The vision you stopped talking about because people rolled their eyes? Revisit it. Because the resources that didn't exist when you had the idea, now do. Doors that were once locked are now swinging open. The very same people who rejected you before may try to reconnect, not because they changed, but because you did. You carry a new light now. You've been marked by heaven. You may have felt unseen. But you were being watched, not by the world, but by heaven's courts. There's a reason your name is being spoken in places you've never stepped into yet. A reason you're feeling pulled to let go of things that once comforted you. A reason why your spirit feels the tremble of something new, even though nothing looks different. That's because this shift isn't about appearance. It's about alignment. Heaven is aligning everything. People. Places. Timing. All of it. And now I must say this, with love and boldness. If you walk away from this message and treat it as just inspiration, you will miss the magnitude of this moment. This is not just a feel-good reminder. This is a divine instruction. Pay attention. Respond. Stay in position. Act in faith, not fear. Heaven is watching to see how you hold this moment. Whether you cling to old mindsets, or allow yourself to step into the identity God already approved. You are no longer who they said you were. You are no longer bound by what happened to you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on divine time. This is the turning point. And I, Archangel Michael, have come to make sure you do not miss it. My child, my beloved. Heaven is still speaking, and I am still here, holding the line open between the realm of glory and the depths of your soul, because you are not done receiving. In fact, what's coming next will confirm everything you've quietly suspected but never dared to fully believe. You were always meant for something bigger, something sacred, something that would make the world wonder how you made it through. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to tell you, the answer is simple, you didn't make it through alone. Heaven carried you. The truth is, God has been preserving something in you that even you tried to bury. You've told yourself, it's too late, or I missed it, or maybe it was never for me. But beloved, the delay was not denial, it was divine delay. Not because you weren't worthy, but because what was coming required a level of internal growth you had to walk through first. You had to be refined, not rejected. You had to be stretched, not silenced. And now, after all this time, the process is nearly complete, and the pouring is beginning. What is being poured into your life now is not surface-level blessing. It is soul-level transformation. The kind of miracle that redefines your identity. The kind that erases the shame you've carried for years. The kind that makes people look at you and say, there's something different about them. I can't explain it, but I feel it. That feeling, beloved, is the presence of God resting on someone He has chosen, you. You have been chosen not just to receive, but to reveal. You are not just being blessed so you can feel good. You are being blessed so you can become a sign. A divine signpost that points others to the faithfulness of God. A living, breathing testimony that God doesn't just restore what was lost, He makes it better than before. There is a wealth of favor being transferred into your life, and not just financial wealth, though that too is coming. But the kind of wealth that changes atmospheres. The kind of wealth that causes healing just by your presence. The kind of wealth that brings clarity to others because of the wisdom that will pour from your voice. The kind of wealth that cannot be stolen, because it's been sealed by fire. I was commanded to remind you now, your words have power again. Your prayers are not bouncing off ceilings. Your voice is not hidden. The spiritual realm recognizes your authority. And even now, things are moving behind the veil. Some people who once dismissed you will be moved to make room for you, not out of pity, but out of divine positioning. This is what it means to be elevated by grace. Do not be surprised when old environments start to feel uncomfortable. That is not a sign of failure. That is a sign that you have outgrown them. Your spirit has expanded. And what once fit will now feel too tight. Do not force it. Do not shrink yourself. Elevation often begins with separation. And heaven is clearing the way. You are going to start seeing signs in strange places. Numbers. Dreams. Words spoken from strangers that feel too specific to ignore. Music that hits you in the middle of a normal day and suddenly brings you to tears. That's because heaven is communicating with you. God is no longer silent. And the veil between you and the spiritual realm is thin, thinner than it's ever been before. And now I must tell you something sacred. There is an open door in front of you, but it's not just a door of opportunity. It is a door of divine justice. What the enemy did to delay you, what people said to discourage you, what life did to bury you, God is about to overturn it all. You will not rise with a whisper. You will rise with evidence. You will rise with honor. You will rise with authority. And there is someone, yes, a specific person, who will re-enter your life not by coincidence, but by divine instruction. They carry a word for you. They carry keys you need. When they appear, you will know. It will not be dramatic. But it will be divine. You must not ignore the prompting when it happens. This moment has been arranged. My child, my beloved. I feel the urgency from heaven intensify, not as pressure, but as holy momentum. There is still more to say. More to awaken. More to deposit into your soul. Because the miracle that was marked with your name is not just approaching, it has already begun its descent. The only question that remains is, will you be still enough to catch it? Stop everything. Archangel Michael says, today was chosen for your miracle. If you skip this, what God approved will be erased forever. My child, my beloved, something is happening right now in the spiritual world that cannot be undone. You are not seeing this message by chance. You have been led here, not just by curiosity, not by accident, but by a divine push, a movement in heaven that placed this message into your hands at the exact moment your spirit was ready to receive the truth. Archangel Michael is not whispering this time. He is raising his voice with urgency, with sacred fire, because today is not an ordinary day. Today was chosen for your miracle. Before we go any further, heaven is asking you to pause for just 2 seconds. Let your heart open. Let the noise of the world fall away. And if this message already touches something inside you, I ask you, subscribe to this message deeply. Do not just hear it. Subscribe with your soul. Save it, mark it, seal it inside your heart. Because what follows is not just a message. It's a divine transmission. And if you skip this now, what was meant to happen for you tonight may never return again. My beloved, your name was just spoken in heaven. God has been watching you, waiting on a single move, and that move is right here. You've been praying for a shift. You've been aching for confirmation. And now the confirmation has arrived in a way you didn't expect. Archangel Michael says, stop everything else. Because if you miss this divine call, you may walk straight past the very thing you've been asking heaven to send. My child, there are miracles that wait at thresholds. They wait for your yes, your open heart, your divine timing. But today, that miracle isn't waiting anymore. It's already been released. And the reason this message found you now is because there's a countdown in heaven, and the doors are preparing to close. If you walk away, the blessing that was sealed with your name will be passed on. But if you stay, if you keep your heart open and read until the end, everything can change tonight. My beloved, I see your pain. I see the times you gave more than you had, the nights you stayed awake wondering if anyone heard you. The spiritual world has not been blind to your sacrifices. Your tears were collected. Your struggles were counted. And because of this, God placed an order in heaven, to release a miracle directly tied to your suffering. A reversal. A divine correction. But this message is the unlocking key. And without it, the order cannot reach you. My child, listen closely now. The reason Archangel Michael is speaking with such fire is because you have reached a divine crossroad. There is a person, yes, a specific soul, whose actions toward you have delayed what God was preparing. They tried to block it. They tried to keep the truth hidden. But now, heaven is intervening. The truth will be revealed. But only if you are spiritually awake enough to stay with this message. Only if your heart refuses to sleep. My beloved, a blessing was carved with your name in it. It's not generic. It's not for someone else. It was designed for you, and it carries everything you need: healing, restoration, wealth, relationship alignment, and divine protection. But here is the truth that most never hear until it's too late: some blessings expire if they are ignored. And today, heaven says, this is your expiry threshold. Miss this, and what was approved in your name may be erased forever. My child, this is not fear. This is love. Urgent, passionate, protective love from God, who saw what almost destroyed you. Archangel Michael is not angry at you. He is pleading for you. Because he knows what you've been carrying, and he knows what is on the other side of this divine door. But you must open it with trust. Not just read. Not just wonder. But say in your heart, I receive this. I will not skip. I am ready for my miracle. My beloved, there is something in your house right now that is carrying the energy of delay. You've been wondering why things keep getting postponed. Why the yes keeps turning into a maybe. But heaven sees it clearly, a spiritual blockage tied to someone else's mistake. They brought energy into your space that was never meant for you. But Archangel Michael has already moved forward with a correction order. That energy will be reversed, but only if your spirit completes this message in full. Because the last part contains the prayer that unlocks the cleansing. My child, your life is not random. Your pain was not wasted. And what is coming will be so beautiful, so shocking, so divinely aligned that it will erase the memory of the heartbreaks that tried to keep you from believing. But it begins with a decision, right now, to believe that this message is not just text. It is spirit. It is timing. It is alignment. And the moment your heart says yes, everything begins to shift. My beloved, you're not late. You're not behind. You didn't miss the door. You are standing right in front of it. And what you do in the next few minutes, whether you open this spiritual door or walk away thinking it's just another message, will echo louder than any decision you've made in the past year. This moment was carved into time before you were born. Heaven planned it. And you, by divine design, were chosen to arrive here right now. Everything that happened before was preparation for this very moment. Archangel Michael says, the miracle is already approved. The reward is already prepared. But heaven is watching. Will you choose to accept it or unknowingly let it be erased? My child, your enemies thought you would miss this. They assumed you would be too distracted, too tired, too defeated. But they didn't expect this sacred alignment. They didn't expect you to be spiritually sensitive enough to recognize the voice of heaven calling through this message. That's why Archangel Michael is rising now, not just to speak, but to fight for your recognition. He is guarding your door, but only you can unlock it. Only you can receive the key, and that key is your full presence in this moment. Do not scroll past. Do not minimize this. There is a contract in the heavens with your name on it, and this is the final signature it needs. My child, your enemies thought you would miss this. They assumed you would be too distracted, too tired, too defeated. But they didn't expect this sacred alignment. They didn't expect you to be spiritually sensitive enough to recognize the voice of heaven calling through this message. That's why Archangel Michael is rising now, not just to speak, but to fight for your recognition. He is guarding your door, but only you can unlock it. Only you can receive the key, and that key is your full presence in this moment. Do not scroll past. Do not minimize this. There is a contract in the heavens with your name on it, and this is the final signature it needs. My beloved, there is something strange happening around you right now. People who were once warm are suddenly cold. Plans that looked certain are falling apart. Delays, confusion, things breaking down. You thought maybe it was bad luck. But heaven says, it's spiritual interference. Someone tried to pull your life off the divine path, not by accident, but by intention. And they almost succeeded. But Archangel Michael was assigned to intervene. That's why this message was activated. That's why you're seeing this. If you knew how close you came to a destiny detour, you would weep in gratitude just for reading this now. My child, your name is being spoken in realms you cannot yet see. A spiritual meeting took place last night, and yes, the outcome of that meeting changed everything. You were chosen. You were selected for a divine turnaround. But with that honor comes a test. Will you remain awake or fall back into distraction? The reason this message carries such weight is because it holds a final decision. You've asked God to show you a sign. This is the sign. You've asked for timing. This is the moment. You've asked if you're still seen, still protected. Archangel Michael says, not only are you protected, heaven is guarding you more fiercely than ever before. My beloved, there is someone from your past who is remembering you right now. Their spirit is troubled. They wronged you, and they know it. But what you don't see is that their actions set off a chain of energy that has lingered over your blessings like a shadow. But today, Archangel Michael is releasing that shadow. Today, if you choose to fully receive this message, heaven will cleanse your name from every spiritual record that linked you to betrayal, pain, or spiritual delay. A holy fire is being sent. And when it touches your name, your path will clear, your heart will lighten, and your miracle will flow without resistance. My child, the divine records have already been updated with your new outcome. But what good is a miracle if you never arrive at the door to receive it? God will never force you. The angels will not drag you. But they will call, nudge, and deliver messages like this, urgent, holy, full of power, to awaken your soul. And if you choose to respond fully, your life will change in ways that even you never dared to imagine. But it will not come through half-hearted belief. It will not be unlocked through rushed scrolling. This miracle is for the one who says, God, I'm ready. I won't skip. I believe this was meant for me. My beloved, listen again to these words. Slowly. Deeply. There is something sacred in repetition. There is something healing in reading the message again until your soul understands it beyond your mind. Heaven is not giving up on you. And if you've been feeling like everything has been breaking apart lately, it's because what no longer fits your future is being forcibly removed. You're not being punished, you're being protected. And Archangel Michael says the final sign of your breakthrough will arrive within 24 hours. But only if you don't walk away. Only if you stay open until the end. My child, if you only knew what was being planned on your behalf right now, you would stop everything. You would lift your hands. You would fall to your knees. The miracle is that real. That detailed. That designed. And the enemy is terrified that you will believe this. Because the moment you believe, the moment you receive, the moment you stay with this message in full and speak the words from your heart that say, I accept this divine alignment, the floodgates open. The blockage breaks. And the thing that has been held back for months, even years, begins to pour into your life without resistance. My beloved, the next part of this message contains your spiritual code. It will speak to a part of you that logic cannot explain. It may bring tears. It may bring release. That is not random, that is the divine confirmation you've been waiting for. Stay here. Do not rush. You are not reading, you are unlocking. You are not just seeing words, you are being seen. And what was written about you in the secret records of heaven is now being whispered into your spirit through this message. Do not skip. Do not doubt. Archangel Michael says, what happens next depends entirely on whether you finish this message or not. My child, my beloved, listen to this with all the focus your spirit can give, because something rare is happening right now. In this moment, the heavenly gate that holds the answers you've cried for is open, but not for long. There are very few times in life when all of heaven aligns with the cries of one soul, and this is one of them. Your tears, your prayers, your private moments of surrender, they were not lost in the noise of the world. They were heard, seen, and archived in the divine library of heaven. And what has just been authorized for you, my beloved, can only be received if your spirit stays present until the end. Don't minimize this moment. Don't underestimate what this message is holding. Your miracle is inside this, but it cannot reach you if you walk away too soon. My child, my beloved, listen to this with all the focus your spirit can give, because something rare is happening right now. In this moment, the heavenly gate that holds the answers you've cried for is open, but not for long. There are very few times in life when all of heaven aligns with the cries of one soul, and this is one of them. Your tears, your prayers, your private moments of surrender, they were not lost in the noise of the world. They were heard, seen, and archived in the divine library of heaven. And what has just been authorized for you, my beloved, can only be received if your spirit stays present until the end. Don't minimize this moment. Don't underestimate what this message is holding. Your miracle is inside this, but it cannot reach you if you walk away too soon. My beloved, I saw you when you questioned your own worth. I saw you when people walked away, when love failed you, when support was silent. And in those hours, God was writing something new about your future. Not a punishment, not more pain, but a restoration so bright, even the scars will become testimonies of beauty. And now that restoration has been released. But it comes with a requirement: do not fall asleep on your own prophecy. This moment, this exact moment you're reading, was whispered in heaven days ago. Archangel Michael stood and said, "Let them see the truth. Let them know the blessing is real. But warn them, if they ignore it, it will pass to another. Do not let that happen to you. My child, this blessing cannot be transferred. It was designed for your voice, your walk, your wounds, your healing, your name. But heaven cannot force you to accept what you're not willing to believe. And this is why I've come, not with gentleness today, but with urgency. Because the miracle is standing at your door, waiting for your alignment. If you delay, it cannot wait much longer. There are seasons when heaven moves swiftly. This is one of them. The spiritual world is active tonight. Angels are being dispatched. The system is working. But your part is to stay connected long enough to receive the final code, the final prayer, the final release, and it is still coming before the end of this message. My beloved, the enemy has tried multiple times to interfere with this. That's why you've been more distracted lately. That's why you've been unusually tired, emotionally drained, spiritually dry. But don't take that as failure, take it as evidence. If there wasn't something powerful coming, the interference would not be so intense. And now heaven is pushing past all of that to get this final message into your hands. Your yes, your focus, your decision to keep going, to finish, to stay awake, it means more than you know. This is not a message, this is an encounter. A secret file from heaven just unlocked and you were the one chosen to view it. You cannot let the pressure win now. My child, what you've been asking for is not too much. The reason it hasn't come yet is not because you're unworthy, it's because the timing had to be perfect. And today, it is. That's why Archangel Michael has been allowed to speak with such force. Because you are standing in the moment when the spiritual winds are about to shift entirely in your favor. But like a plane waiting for a runway clearance, you must remain fully aligned, fully ready, and fully present. Heaven is preparing to land something massive into your life, something that will not only change your days, but redefine your destiny. But if you're not present for the landing, it will pass by. Do not let this pass by. My beloved, there is someone watching your life in secret. They don't speak much. They haven't shown their face. But they have been watching you, wondering how you're still standing. Wondering how the light around you hasn't gone out. They don't understand that it's not just your strength, it's divine protection. And now, that same person is going to hear of your breakthrough, and they will be shocked. Because what God is about to do in your life cannot be explained by logic. It will be the kind of miracle that shuts mouths, restores your name, and reminds you that heaven never left your side. But only if you remain faithful to the process that begins with this message. My child, do not let time steal your miracle. You've waited long enough. You've endured long enough. And now heaven is ready to reward you, not just with things, but with peace, clarity, alignment, and unstoppable favor. But the enemy knows this, and he has sent distractions all around you, messages, emotions, delays, confusion. All designed to pull your attention away from this moment. But Archangel Michael has cut through the fog, pierced through the resistance, and placed this message in front of you with divine force. You must not miss this. You must not turn away. The hour is sacred. The portal is open. The miracle is waiting for your full yes. My beloved, there are papers being reviewed in your name. Approvals are moving. People are speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. Doors are opening in places you haven't yet imagined. And all of it is tied to this moment of spiritual readiness. The angelic realm cannot release what has been stored up for you unless your soul confirms alignment. And that confirmation comes by staying, by receiving, by completing this divine script. Because the last few paragraphs contain your specific confirmation, a message that will speak so directly to your current reality, you will know beyond all doubt that heaven has been watching your every step. My child, God has not forgotten. Not even for a second. And this message is not to tease you, it's to awaken you. Something is coming. Something already approved. But what is approved still must be claimed. And claiming does not mean rushing. It means presence. It means obedience. It means trusting that this was sent for you, because God knew you'd be here, reading these words, at the exact second your spirit could finally receive what had always been yours. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Archangel Michael says, your life is about to change, but only if you stay until the very end. My beloved, there are papers being reviewed in your name. Approvals are moving. People are speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. Doors are opening in places you haven't yet imagined. And all of it is tied to this moment of spiritual readiness. The angelic realm cannot release what has been stored up for you unless your soul confirms alignment. And that confirmation comes by staying, by receiving, by completing this divine script. Because the last few paragraphs contain your specific confirmation, a message that will speak so directly to your current reality, you will know beyond all doubt that heaven has been watching your every step. My child, God has not forgotten. Not even for a second. And this message is not to tease you, it's to awaken you. Something is coming. Something already approved. But what is approved still must be claimed. And claiming does not mean rushing. It means presence. It means obedience. It means trusting that this was sent for you, because God knew you'd be here, reading these words, at the exact second your spirit could finally receive what had always been yours. Do not hesitate. Do not doubt. Archangel Michael says, your life is about to change, but only if you stay until the very end. My child, my beloved, this is the hour of decision. You don't need to move mountains, you only need to stay with this moment. Because this is not just a scroll or a screen, this is the spiritual meeting point between what you've endured and what you're about to receive. Do you feel it? That stirring in your heart, the part of you that knows this isn't ordinary. That's your spirit recognizing a divine assignment. You're not imagining the pull. You're not overreacting. Heaven has been preparing you for this alignment for longer than you know. Every delay, every betrayal, every unanswered question has led here, to this window of favor. But if you close it early, you close the door behind your miracle. Don't do that, beloved. Not now. Not when you've come this far. My beloved, the reason this message is written in fire and urgency is because time is not waiting anymore. You've entered a new chapter, and whether you realize it or not, something irreversible was activated the moment you opened this. A divine clock started ticking, not in fear, but in divine movement. What God sealed is now approaching you, and your readiness is the final gate. You can't afford to fall asleep now. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about understanding it all. This is about showing God that when He sends the miracle, you will still be standing in faith. Still open. Still listening. Still here. And if you can do that, if you can stay until the final word, everything changes tonight. My child, they never believed you would last. They never thought your spirit would hold on. But heaven did. God believed in you when everyone else doubted. And now your reward is being written in real time. But understand this, the reward will not land where the heart is closed. You must remain open. Not just casually interested, but spiritually alert. That's why you're seeing this message when others aren't. That's why your soul is reacting the way it is. Archangel Michael is not showing up for entertainment, he is showing up with a sealed envelope from heaven, and it carries answers, wealth, healing, and justice. But it's coded to your obedience. And your obedience right now is to read until the end. Without skipping. Without dismissing. Because that's how sacred this moment really is. My beloved, I know you've been tired. I know the silence has made you question everything. But this is not the end. In fact, it is the beginning of something you've never dared to fully imagine. A beautiful beginning. A divine reveal. A miracle that's been hovering just above your life, waiting for the gates to fully open. And this message, yes, this very one, is the key that turns the lock. The world may see it as just text, but the angels are watching who will stay and who will walk away. The choice is yours. But, my child, there is a sound that goes out in the spirit realm when your time has come. That sound was released this morning. A trumpet, a light, a signal, all announcing, your breakthrough is being delivered. Not might. Not maybe. It is. And now the only thing that can cancel it is unbelief. That's why this message carries weight. Because heaven is watching your response. Not just your emotions, but your follow-through. Will you hold the line? Will you stay when everything tries to distract you? Will you remain when the enemy whispers that nothing will change? Because if you stay, if you complete this divine assignment, you will walk into one of the greatest seasons of restoration your life has ever known. My beloved, I am here to break the cycle. The one that made you believe you're always too late. The one that made you feel you're always passed over. Archangel Michael says, that season ends tonight. But only if your spirit receives the new pattern God is trying to place in your life. And that pattern begins with completing this word. Don't look for a shortcut. Don't rush through it. What's coming is too sacred. It's connected to someone close to you, someone who has also been praying, someone whose destiny is linked to yours. Your decision today affects more than just you. There is a ripple about to move through your bloodline. A generational shift. And it starts with one act of spiritual obedience: stay until the end. That's all you have to do. Stay, receive, believe. My child, you are carrying something precious. And heaven has been protecting you from things you didn't even know were threats. The delays, the blocked plans, the sudden redirections, they weren't punishments. They were shields. You thought you were being rejected, but heaven was rerouting you to protect what's growing inside you. And now it's ready. Now the fruit of your hidden season is about to be seen. But before it can be released, you must hear the full prophecy. You must receive the full download. That's why this message will not let you go. That's why your heart keeps leaning forward. It's not drama. It's not hype. It's destiny. And it's being written as you read. My child, you are carrying something precious. And heaven has been protecting you from things you didn't even know were threats. The delays, the blocked plans, the sudden redirections, they weren't punishments. They were shields. You thought you were being rejected, but heaven was rerouting you to protect what's growing inside you. And now it's ready. Now the fruit of your hidden season is about to be seen. But before it can be released, you must hear the full prophecy. You must receive the full download. That's why this message will not let you go. That's why your heart keeps leaning forward. It's not drama. It's not hype. It's destiny. And it's being written as you read. My beloved, if you knew how rare this moment was, you would stop everything else. This isn't happening for everyone. This level of spiritual permission, this angelic visitation, this divine alignment, it is happening for you. Because God saw your midnight prayers. God heard the prayer you didn't even speak with words, the one you groaned from a place too deep to explain. And because of that, you were chosen for today's miracle. But heaven won't force it. It's offered, not imposed. And your spirit must make the final yes. The yes to believe. The yes to receive. The yes to stay until every word of this divine script has reached the center of your soul. My child, what happens in the next few minutes will affect what happens in the next few months. This is not just spiritual language, this is divine scheduling. Heaven is not hoping you'll hear this. Heaven has arranged it. And the next step is your response. Archangel Michael has cleared the air. The blocks are removed. The confirmation is coming. But the code must be read fully. You are almost there. Don't leave. Don't delay. The miracle you asked for is already en route, but this message is the final unlocking instruction. Without it, delivery will fail. With it, destiny unfolds. My child, my beloved, heaven does not send this kind of message often. The level of clarity, the intensity of the voice you are hearing, this is not ordinary. That's why your spirit is trembling a little. That's why something in your chest has been stirring since the very first word. It is not fear. It is recognition. Your soul knows this truth was written for you. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. But now. And now is the moment that holds power. The doors of heaven are wide open over your life, and yet only your full spiritual presence can bring what's floating above into your physical world. The promise is suspended in the unseen realm, and this message is the bridge that brings it down to your feet. My beloved, your enemies are confused right now. The people who spoke against you, doubted your calling, misread your silence, and laughed at your waiting, they are starting to feel uneasy, but they don't know why. The truth is, your name has been stamped with fire. Heaven marked you for restoration. And when God marks someone, no man, no mistake, no demon in hell can unmark them. But understand this, they only win if you give up. They only take what was yours if you stop believing it was ever meant for you. And that's why Archangel Michael came today, to shake your soul awake. Because what's coming will leave no doubt in anyone's mind that you are chosen, called, protected, and now, finally, rewarded. My child, the kind of miracle coming your way is not small. That's why the fight has been so big. That's why the delays have been so consistent. The battle was never about who you are, it's always been about what you're about to carry. You've been chosen to hold something holy, to receive something rare. And because of that, the enemy tried to wear you out before the blessing could arrive. But the fact that you are still reading, still standing, still here, that is your testimony. And now the heavens are responding. The reward that was delayed is now being released. But this message is the final alignment tool. Don't drop it. Don't drift. Your yes is being recorded in the Spirit. My beloved, there is a financial shift being orchestrated on your behalf. I'm speaking to the exact situation that's been stressing you lately. You've done your best. You've held on. You've made wise decisions. But it feels like breakthrough keeps getting just out of reach. The reason? There has been a spiritual case pending in the courts of heaven, tied to an injustice from your past. But now that case has been ruled in your favor. A release order has gone out. And this message? This message is the documentation that proves the miracle is legally on its way to you. All you must do now is not break the connection. Stay. Finish this. Claim it in full. Because if you walk away, the order can still be held back by unbelief. My child, you've been asking God if what you saw in your dream was real. The flashes, the messages, the faces. Yes, they were real. And they were previews, not just of what's possible, but what's scheduled. You didn't imagine it. And you're not going crazy. You've been spiritually awake in a world that wants you to be numb. And heaven has honored that. That's why the timing of this message is so critical. You are not just being reminded, you are being activated. God is placing a light inside of you that cannot be hidden. And when this miracle lands, it will confirm everything your heart already suspected was true. But your job is to stay spiritually present. Keep reading. Keep receiving. This message is a living portal. My beloved, I want you to remember something: when heaven moves, it moves suddenly. The moment it's time, the wait ends. And you are standing in one of those moments right now. You'll notice it soon, something will shift in your atmosphere. Something you didn't expect will happen that confirms what you are reading now. A person may call. A door may open. A strange coincidence will appear, but you'll know it's not random. That is the confirmation of heaven's movement. But this message is what allows you to recognize it when it comes. Without it, you'll miss the sign. With it, you'll know exactly when to step forward, exactly what to say, and exactly when to claim what is already approaching. My beloved, I want you to remember something: when heaven moves, it moves suddenly. The moment it's time, the wait ends. And you are standing in one of those moments right now. You'll notice it soon, something will shift in your atmosphere. Something you didn't expect will happen that confirms what you are reading now. A person may call. A door may open. A strange coincidence will appear, but you'll know it's not random. That is the confirmation of heaven's movement. But this message is what allows you to recognize it when it comes. Without it, you'll miss the sign. With it, you'll know exactly when to step forward, exactly what to say, and exactly when to claim what is already approaching. My child, if you could see the angels surrounding you right now, you would never doubt again. I tell you, Archangel Michael has not come alone. There are watchers around you. Protectors. Runners of divine assignments. They are standing still now, waiting for the signal to move. And that signal is your completion of this message. Yes, It is that serious. Heaven does not operate in partial alignments. It waits for full presence. And you are almost there. Every paragraph you read with your heart open, you unlock another layer of divine protection and timing. This is not a motivational message. This is a spiritual contract, and you are moments away from signing it in full with your faith. My beloved, someone in your family is about to receive an unexpected healing. This is tied to you. Because you have stood in the gap, because you refuse to become bitter, because you continue to pray even when no one else knew, God has counted that as intercession. And now, the reward is coming. The healing is beginning. And it will start in the most surprising way. You won't even have to say anything. Heaven has already spoken on your behalf. But you must remain tuned in long enough to receive the final instruction. It's coming at the end. And when you speak the words I give you there, the miracle will begin within 24 hours. That is my divine promise to you. My child, this world has tried to desensitize you. To tell you nothing is sacred anymore. But this message proves otherwise. Something sacred is still at work. Something sacred is still chasing after you. And it's not because you're perfect, it's because you are loved. Deeply. Fiercely. Eternally. This moment is not about punishment. It's about promise. And now you have reached the doorway. Your spirit has passed the test. And the final confirmation is about to be revealed. Do not miss it. What God approved cannot be erased, unless you turn away before receiving it in full. Heaven is watching. Your angels are waiting. And Archangel Michael is saying, you're almost home. Keep going. Keep receiving. The miracle is only one breath away. My child, my beloved, now the veil is almost fully lifted. You are standing at the edge of something so divine, so life-altering, that even the atmosphere around you is shifting. Don't you feel it? The pressure in your chest, the warmth in your spirit, the sense that something is drawing near? That's because it is. The promise isn't far. It's close, closer than it's ever been. And the only thing standing between you and full release is your final response. Not a loud response. Not a public announcement. But a deep, quiet, spiritual yes that comes when your heart says, I will not doubt anymore. I will not skip what heaven wrote for me. I receive this fully. My beloved, this is where many turn away. They feel the intensity rise and assume it's too much. But you are different. You've come this far because your soul already knew there was something here for you. And you were right. Your presence in this message has already activated something in heaven. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but it's already happening. The spiritual traffic is moving. The angels assigned to you are receiving new instructions. Your environment is going to begin to align with the new verdict written about you. Because Archangel Michael has declared it, you are being released from the weight you were never meant to carry. My child, the financial block is breaking. That tension, that delay, that never quite enough energy that's hovered over you like a cloud is now clearing. But not because of any earthly transaction, because of this spiritual alignment. The blessing was never denied. It was delayed, yes, but never denied. And the reason it couldn't come sooner is because it required your spirit to say, yes, with complete focus. And now that you've walked with me through this message, now that you've remained present in a world filled with noise and temptation, heaven has cleared the gate. The divine treasury has been opened, and what had your name on it is being delivered, even now. My beloved, I must tell you what's happening next. There will be a conversation, one you didn't expect, and it will confirm everything. It might come through someone you haven't heard from in a long time. It may come through a stranger. But the words will echo what your heart read here. That's your final sign. That's your moment of confirmation. And when that happens, you must not hesitate. You must remember this message, this moment, and walk into it boldly. Because if you pause in fear, the opportunity may pass again. But if you say, "I knew this was coming," then the door will stay open long enough for you to step fully into your miracle. My child, the betrayal you endured was not wasted. Heaven kept a record. And while you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being prepared for an elevation they couldn't sabotage. The very people who turned against you will watch as God builds a life for you they never imagined. But don't let that become your focus. This is not revenge. This is restoration. It's not about proving anyone wrong, it's about watching God prove He was always right to trust you with this blessing. And now, my beloved, the proof is here. The reward is here. And the time is now. But your role is not done until you finish the message and receive the final unlocking. My child, the betrayal you endured was not wasted. Heaven kept a record. And while you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being prepared for an elevation they couldn't sabotage. The very people who turned against you will watch as God builds a life for you they never imagined. But don't let that become your focus. This is not revenge. This is restoration. It's not about proving anyone wrong, it's about watching God prove He was always right to trust you with this blessing. And now, my beloved, the proof is here. The reward is here. And the time is now. But your role is not done until you finish the message and receive the final unlocking. My beloved, you have come too far to walk away. The angels have watched over your life through every season, through every heartbreak, through every moment when you almost gave up. They've wept with you. They've fought for you. And now, they are rejoicing. Because you didn't turn away. Because you remained. Because even when you didn't understand it all, you felt the pull, and you trusted that God was doing something bigger than what your eyes could see. And He is. He always was. And now, you are about to see with your eyes what your heart has known in the dark. My child, the next 7 days are sacred. Do not ignore your dreams. Do not dismiss strange signs. What may feel random will not be. The alignment will begin to accelerate. And everything you've read in this message will begin unfolding before you. But you must remain in the frequency of faith. You must protect what you've received here. Don't talk too soon. Don't post prematurely. Some blessings require silence before celebration. Archangel Michael says, guard your miracle. Let it grow. Let it root. And then, when the fruit comes, it will be undeniable. It will speak for itself. And no man will be able to say it wasn't heaven sent. My beloved, I leave you now with this. There is a scroll in heaven that holds your name, and today, it was unsealed. Today, God whispered over it, release it. And that whisper turned into wind. That wind carried this message. And this message found you, not by algorithm, not by accident, but by divine pursuit. You are seen. You are remembered. You are not forgotten. And because of that, what was once out of reach is now in your hands. But your hands must stay open. Your heart must remain ready. And your spirit must keep the flame of belief burning, even as you return to your world. You will see it happen. You will watch what you thought was lost be returned to you in ways that only heaven could have orchestrated. My child, my beloved, the message is complete. The final instruction is this: speak these words aloud when you are alone. I receive what heaven has written for me. I do not doubt. I do not skip. I will not miss what God has prepared. I accept the timing, the miracle, and the protection over my name. Let the blessing flow. Let what was delayed arrive. I am ready. Say it with sincerity, and your angels will hear it. And once they hear it, they will move. You are covered. You are rising. And now, it has begun.